Yes, test. Good evening, viewers. Tonight we have the third round of our driver swap competition. The qualification is about to begin. So you can see just a minute left in the free practice. And I hope I will be able to welcome Tim Troquet in tonight as well to do commentary alongside of me. He was going to see if he was going to make it, so... yeah, let's just... I was just waiting for the briefing to end before starting the stream. So, just waiting for that. So, right now we're looking at the number 117 car. They are 5th in the championship with 33 points, I think. But, yeah, these guys are... They were fastest on the in the first race on the Nürburgring, but they had some trouble with the driver swap itself. So the stop or the driver swap wasn't counted as a legitimate stop. So unfortunately they had to forfeit that race. Didn't get any points, but yeah, they were dominant the second race. So it will be interesting to see what they can do this race. And I think, if I remember correctly, as the qualifying now starts formally, I think the Porsche isn't going to be the best car for the upcoming circuits, including this track. But it'll be interesting to see what Tim has to say about that. As we discussed last time, he has driven the Porsche himself extensively, so has a bit of insight there. Let me know, by the way, if the sound is alright, if the racing sounds can be heard and all that. So if we go through the championship real quick, I noticed that the number 1 in the championship is the RGT Esports team with 44 points, but it looks like they are not... I think they had to pull out of this race. But the 807 team I did see, they are second place in the championship right now. These guys. They have they're 2 points behind number 1, so they should be able to yeah, have a good deal tonight, and hopefully challenge with that yeah, 117 car. So another good contender here, the 217 car, about to start his first lap. Looking to get some space as well, of course, for his own flying lap. Always a bit of traffic. The cars get underway here. So this is the 217 car in the third place in the competition. And then we have the 911 car. I'll have to see if they're present in this race. But they have an equal amount of points. Also 41 points if I... it's 41 points. And then as I said, the 117 car is in the P5 in the championship. But yeah, as I assess it, I think they're... yeah, they should be favorites for this championship. So yeah, I think that's... we should... I think we can expect that these guys are the team to measure towards. Yeah, this part of the track you really have to cut off, and or really clean drivers, it can be a bit counterintuitive to cut off the track as much as you do there. But yeah, it's absolutely essential to get any kind of lap time here. Joey Tyson's coming to start finish for the first time for the first official lap. That's P3. The 217 car. I say, I think they are third in the championship. Just did a first attempt, got a first place. Yeah, that's a great sentence. But it's a good time, I think. 1:34.842. And yeah, also the 117 car course is very close. Just 0.05 of a second behind. So that's the virtual current leader in the championship. They have the third place. Just looking where the 26 car is in the championship. I think they did race in the previous races, but they came over the line 34th and 29th. So usually back markers, but they so far in the qualifying session with 19 cars, it's 21 cars actually, just placed their times, and they're still pretty far up the field, so interesting. I'm just gonna see if I can get Tim in to join us. Just 1 second. Moment. Yes, and we're back. So, welcome, Tim.
Hello, good afternoon. Good evening, I have to say.
Yeah, it's definitely evening. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to a great race in the States. So, not a track I'm familiar with, but would be cool to see how these guys are doing today.
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
are you?
Yeah, I'm great and excited as well. As I was just talking through with the viewers, we have a pretty exciting championship with I think that just the top 4 are within 3 points now. So that's after 2 races, and of course we have the 117 car that was pretty quick last races. Of course, the first race they had to give up the invalid swap.
True.
They're currently third.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. Exciting this championship. So looking forward to who will take the lead after today. Yeah, it's really cool that these guys are really close to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking where the 46 cars in the championship, they didn't finish the first race. They got 13th the last race, so now they're 18th in the championship. Joey Thijssen's 6/10 improvement.
Yeah, so last week I started to learn this track, I think 1.5 week ago, just to get used to it, because I'm driving it in a different championship, and I have to say there's limited grip all over the track, so it's difficult to find the right grip, the right line. And in some corners there's only one line, which is the proper line, and trying to overtake over there is pretty difficult. So looking forward who will do best out here.
Yeah, I think again it's interesting. We discussed the Porsche and the difference in characteristics the last time. But I think, yeah, as you say, grip is really a thing on this track. And yeah, I think we discussed last time the Porsche takes kind of special sort of handling. It's yeah, interesting to see if the 117 car, they've been very competitive so far, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can continue that.
I think DC have had one race over here. I think it was a one-off event when the new DLC was released or got released, and I think back then it was the Ferrari who was really quick, and I'm seeing a Ferrari in front as well right now. So might be that Ferrari is a good pick on this track. A bit surprised to see the Aston Martin over here, but yeah, maybe not. But didn't expect that, to be fair.
Really, I'm curious what. Just looking at the Aston Martin, I think you talking about the 807 car here.
Yeah, Marky, indeed. So the reason why I wasn't expecting it is because it's completely different, or the opposite compared to the Ferrari, in my opinion. Different, yeah, weight distribution and that kind of stuff. So the Ferrari is really a mid-engine. Tail happy a bit, where the Aston Martin is really stiff, I would say. So I was more aiming for Ferrari, Porsche, Honda maybe, instead of the Aston Martins and the BMWs.
Yeah, we do have a couple of Hondas as well, 5th and 6th now. It also seems a competitive choice.
Yep, definitely. And the Honda is competitive all over the calendar, I would say. Everywhere where we go, recently the Honda seems to be pretty quick, top speed, but pretty decent on tires as well. If I compare it to the past, so it's a good pick. Let's say in this patch or in this season at least.
Yeah, especially it's interesting that the characteristics of all the cars, of course, keep changing from patch to patch. So I think it's interesting because the Honda was sort of was really frowned upon, I would say. It wasn't really a popular car for the longest time, and now suddenly, you see Hondas left and right, which is I think, yeah, it is a fun thing. I'm sure not everyone likes it, but yeah, the changing of the character. I think we have the Lexus, who's been it's been a very OP car for a while. So yeah, it's interesting. Of course, the BMW, when it was just released, was an amazing car.
Yeah,
and had to get nerfed before. Yeah, it was mostly at some point. I think it was an 80% BMW grid almost.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's the fun thing about GT racing, right? So the BOP kicks in, and they try to make all these cars as equal as possible.
Yeah,
so that you can have like a full grid of different brands or manufacturers in the championship. So I think they're doing quite a good job at the moment to get some cars more up the front. And the Honda is definitely one pick that has made benefit out of the new BOP changes, I would say.
Yeah. In the meantime, the Porsche is the car that takes the quickest time at this point. Of course, we have
Decent times, by the way. 34.3.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really quick.
So these guys are once again the quickest,
Yeah.
with just a bit over 1 minute left. Of course, we have the 217 car also coming towards the finish line, but I think they do have a bit of traffic. Are they gonna have trouble with that, do you think, Tim? I think these cars are quite a bit ahead here.
Yeah, I mean, 110 between first and second, it's not a lot. Degano is just a brilliant quick driver we have seen in the previous rounds of this this championship. Together with Beanie, it's a really good team. So it will be tough to beat them, but I think Bruni is right on their tail, so maybe Bruni gets into the mix. Not sure if those are teammates. I don't think so, right? It's not the same
Well,
team that they're driving for.
they are both part of the Glitch
Oh, really?
Motorsport team. Yeah, so yeah, that's interesting. We also have, let me see if that will be the 38 car. But yeah, they're absolutely driving as well tonight in the
Okay.
this McLaren, right? Yeah. So, oh, makes a little mistake there, but still they're in P9. Absolutely.
Surprisingly though, just 2 or 3 McLarens in the championship, while I think it's still one of the best cars in general, so overall.
Yeah.
Very all-round car, very aero-dependent, I think, but really, really quick and stable all around every track almost.
I think it's one of these cars that just it feels amazingly quick, and you feel amazingly quick yourself, even if you're not doing amazing times. It can easily feel just a bit quicker.
Yep,
And
definitely.
it's just a fun car to drive. Soldato has finished the qualifying in P8 right now. In March he managed to get P3. If Degano and Bruni aren't working on laps anymore, but the 26 car is just a crappy improvement, which at this point wouldn't give many improvements in positions. But of course, he has a bit of lap left, so.
Also, really good lap time by Menno van der Molen. 6/10 of the pace. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say 34 on this track is amazingly good in general. So really good achievement from him.
Yeah, and I think Menno also has had a bit of bad luck in this championship. I remember.
Yeah, last race was a bit difficult. I think Christophe Semijn, he had some troubles in traffic, hit some people, unfortunately. So it was a tough race for him. And the first race, I remember they got hit somewhere. So they kind of need a good result to climb up the championship and to fight for, I would say, top 5 in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're definitely. Well, we believe in them. Of course, they're the
We
Dutch,
should.
the Dutch DC guys. So yeah, I think they should be higher. And right now they're in the 9th position in the championship with an 11th and a 10th place. So
Yep.
yeah, just should say amazingly unlucky. Of course, we also have the other DC team that is 112, and I think that would be. That's
Joey
Joey
together
Tysons.
with Joey with Yannick, maybe?
Let me just.
I think so, right?
Let me just see.
Pretty sure it's Joey Thijs together with Joey. Joey Thijs with Yannick.
Yannick Koerts. Yeah.
Yannick Koerts. Well, in all honesty, the top having a top 10 in this championship is pretty decent. It's pretty good. It's a strong field of drivers, so you need to drive your ass off, so to say, to get into the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's always brilliant. We have 50 cars on the championship sheet, of course. Not everyone is driven in the points, but the first 31 teams have managed to achieve points at some time in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
So
Meantime, I'm starting the race control to see the lap times as well, so I can follow everything.
Perfect.
Connect.
Just
Go.
2 minutes to before the what's called the warming up lap is started. So just a short break, and we'll be right back.
Cool.
Yes, sorry about that. It's just getting some water, because it's gonna be a lot of talking again.
So, what are your expectations today, Daniel?
Yeah, I would think that the 117 car is once again going to be the car to beat, but the 217 car is surprisingly quick here. So definitely haven't been doing bad at all. Had a 5th place and a 2nd place, so it'll be interesting to see.
Fully agree.
And of course, the 117 car is right now 5th in the championship, so
117 is 5th?
yeah, they're 5th in the championship
Okay.
because of their they didn't finish, of course, in the first race. So
yeah, to make a chance in the championship, to go for the win, they definitely need another top result today.
yeah,
Definitely that will bring them back to top 3 somewhere.
yeah, and I think I'm sort of glad that this is just a short championship, you know, just especially since we don't have a lot of races left. That makes it, I think, a bit more interesting. Just it has to happen in those 5 races, and if for some reason things don't work out like the 117 car had in the first race, then yeah, you're gonna have to really make sure that you get the points in the other races.
Yeah, you should definitely not have a DNF or something. You really need to keep on going and get these points in, because, like you said, short championship, there's basically no time to lose, no points to lose, and you need to be spot on every single race to make the difference, to try to keep ahead of the competition. Also, the point structure, it is tending to become very close all over the place, so you cannot well, make a big gap to the car in second, because it's only 5 points difference, I believe, between P1 and P2 in a race.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it stays close, and that's I think the fun thing about the championship in DC is that until the last race, most likely there's a fight for well, definitely almost every position, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things that definitely makes it a bit more interesting. So
Yeah, it puts also pressure on the guys to well, perform every single race, to train hard for the best possible result. And I think these guys in the front, they train really hard, or they're really talented,
yeah,
or both.
yeah, yeah. Well, maybe could very well be both, but yeah,
Definitely.
I logged in our server, our practice server that we of course always have up running for all contestants to prepare for the race. I saw that I logged in this afternoon to test everything for the stream, and yeah, these two guys, Degano and his teammate, they were practicing, and they were also in P1 and P2 this afternoon in the practice server. So
Very surprisingly.
yeah,
Well, they're coming close. Green, green, green.
Yeah,
So
there we go for the
let's
green
get going.
green light, green flag actually. I think the 217, yeah, they're alongside here.
Oh, wow.
Good
Oh,
start.
on the outside.
Menno on the outside, yeah.
It's getting really, really close. That's not a position where you want to be. No grip at all.
I think the BMW is a stable car. I happened to try it just earlier this week.
It is really stable, but and I think you can go quick with it really quickly, I would say. But to get it extra tense out of it, it's really difficult to get there. But I think it's a really forgiving car, and you can drive pretty okay with it. No matter if you're a so-called alien or just, let's say, one of the fun drivers, the gentleman drivers. It's a car for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And they kept it really clean in the front, to be fair.
Yeah, I think
Really good.
we're on towards P10 now. I haven't seen any yellow flags, I think.
Oh, me neither.
So yeah, it looks. I think it's a wide track, this, right? It's not like Brands Hatch where you're bound to have incidents. This is much more forgiving in that respect. But
True. Nice overtake by the McLaren.
Yeah.
Oh, really nice.
this is the 6-1 car.
Yeah, the Bond.
It was a very good overtake.
And somebody who did really good at the start is Joey Tysons. Went up from 9th to 5th, I believe. So that's a good start of the race for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Menno just made a move here on.
Oh, we missed it.
Very nice. Yeah, that's.
Good catch.
This is 30 seconds back, so.
Oh wow, what happened over here?
This should
Because there's
be,
a huge gap between both.
yeah.
Menno who just
Is
dives,
this-
or?
It looks like he's holding back. Could be.
That's a weird situation. It looked like the Porsche had no speed at all.
Yeah, exactly. I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe was it? Did he give a place back, perhaps?
I haven't seen any collision with those guys, so
No.
it seems like a fair fight.
Yeah.
Especially in the first corner where they were side by side, and I don't think it was giving back a position. It really looked like the top speed of the Porsche wasn't there, and well,
That's,
actually it was there for the BMW.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, if we jump on board this car, because yeah, is the BMW that's so amazingly quick, or is the Porsche just losing speed? I think I can only imagine that he just sort of lifted the throttle a bit for whatever reason. But,
I mean, they don't have to fuel save, right? It's you just put it full for the first hit, and you fuel up for the second one. So you don't have to fuel save or whatsoever. So it's not like a different engine map. Maybe they forgot to shift up or something. I really don't know. It's a really strange situation, if you ask me.
yeah, like, I hope after the race that we can sort of find out through Discord. Usually there's a little talk there about what happened. So
Definitely.
Ooh, in the 807 car goes wide here, loses a lot of time. So
Probably also position to Joey Tysons.
yeah, he immediately makes the
Right.
move. So
Yeah, he makes the move. Oh, next side by side now.
oh, this is
Good fight, good fight.
Yeah, but you really want to have a nice exit here. It's really important that you get as much speed as you can through that section there. It's sort of really cutting, as the 807 car is coming back, but really cutting over the asphalt there. This isn't over yet, I think.
Not yet, indeed.
We also have a bit of action here. Two cars behind there. That's the third Glitch Motorsport entry.
Yeah.
So can the 807 car get back around here?
Will the Aston Martin catch up with the BMW? I think it has a bit better top speed, but to close this gap would be really opportunistic.
Yeah, and I would think that Joey would expect that he would be able to drive away now. Just make an initial gap, and I think it almost feels like a rubber band. As you get further away, it sort of makes it easier to get a bit more confidence. But yeah, is this a mistake? I think he's going a bit wide here. Don't you think?
Yeah, you can drive like multiple lines over there. I tend to stay close to the apex and close the inside to with the right-hander onto the back straight, get a good exit. But yeah, you can also take it a bit wider. Well, you brake later, so to say. You go wider into the corner, and also a line you can follow as a driver. So it's multiple lines over there, and I think in the back there's also pretty good fighting around 18 until 23. Those guys are like 3 seconds off each other in total, so good fights over there as well.
Let's take a look here. Looking at the 16 car, and I think Hamakaya and
Jenska,
Vinska and the 997 car, they're at it. And I see another car having a look there. Is that the Bond? The Bond, of course, we also just saw make a move, I think, on Alex Credit. Not sure. In the first lap, if I'm not mistaken.
But this could become really fun, this fight. Really close by, 5 cars together, different brands, different manufacturers, so that's really cool to see.
Yeah, that's really another statement for the GT3 concept. As you say, the of performance. And of course, we as sim racers have another layer on that, which is, of course, we have the BPO coming from SRO, but then we, I mean, in real GT3, just looking at the, what's it called, the GT World Championship, the challenge, I think, that seems to have a different BOP than compared to DTM. So, and of course, we as sim racers have yet another BOP, I think, which, of course, for us as sim racers changes each patch level in as far as ACC is concerned.
Yeah, maybe you know better, by the way. But I think the GT World Challenge, I think it has like a seasonal BOP, while the DTM has like a BOP per race, or because of like success ballast or something. Because that's what I remember. That every time somebody ends up high in the previous round, he gets like, I don't know, 30 kilos extra ballast.
Yeah, I think in the what's it called, the class they had, class 1 is that, I think. They did have the weight penalty, which I thought was terrible, but that's my personal opinion on that. But yeah, I felt it was really gamey is not the right word, of course, in this respect. But yeah, it felt sort of rigged to make a challenge, make a season interesting that way. It doesn't really work for me, but
it's a bit like gamification, right? So you're basically abusing a successful team or successful driver, and well, giving him ballast to, well, decrease speed. And if there would be one BOP for every kind of class, that would be best. So every type of car. and an Audi in for example DTM is probably evenly quick as an Audi in for example the GT World Challenge. So the differences shouldn't be that much within a championship or the same car.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think, yeah, it's something you have to look at constantly. But I think in GT3 and DTM last season or the season before that, last season I think is the first GT3 season for DTM, right? So
True. Yeah, it was.
so, but I think they changed, well, not so much the weight. I think sort of engine settings. I think we see Joey Tyson here just taking a look around the 807 car, I think it is.
Yeah, he got overtaken by the Aston Martin again. I think he made a mistake at the exit of the last corner, or the penultimate corner, and got overtaken on the straight.
Yannick Koerts is in the chat. He says, "Damn, Tim Turkey on the mic." So yeah,
Definitely.
It's a shout out to Yannick.
Yannick better starts doing a warming up or something to prepare for his second stint and make sure he drives as quick as he can.
Yeah, yeah.
And well, I know him a bit, and actually the guy never practices, but he's amazingly quick. So always cool to see him on track whenever he is there once in a while. So
Yeah,
looking forward.
I think yeah, he's teammate with Joey Tyson in the 112 car. So
Yep, yes.
Joey's we've been with him for a while, following him, and he's doing pretty good in the fifth place. I think they're in the championship. They are. So let me get the right page here. The 112 car. I thought they were doing pretty good. Yeah, they're in 11th place. They didn't finish the first race.
No, they didn't, because I think Yannick wasn't able to participate, and therefore
Oh yeah.
Joey had to well, somewhere resign from the race. Only the first stint, I believe, and from what I heard, it was like a really difficult stint for him. Got in a spin somewhere, got tapped around, and well, basically was pointless to keep on going. And I'm not sure, but you're not allowed to drive in your own, right? It's a swap series, so you need to drive together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I manually changed drivers once, so
yeah, that's that was really a shame. Yeah, they did good the last time, and yeah, of course, fifth place right now. So let's hope they can both keep it up. Just looking through the field just a bit. House Krediet is still pretty close to. I'm going to say Mitchell. Martijn de Wind. Always a surprise.
So lap times are pretty quick. I think the gap has been made between P1 and P2, around 7 seconds. Equally lap times, I believe 35.5, 35.2, and it's basically changing every single lap. But yeah, the top of the field is driving 35s, whilst the majority of the field is driving around 36s and low 37s. So I think there's a definite top 5 today.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the 117 car currently third. So
didn't expect that, to be fair.
Yeah, I was really thinking, but yeah, that's just the thing. It might just not be the track for the Porsche, and I think again, I think I saw one of the two guys mentioning that on the Discord that yeah, the coming tracks are just not particularly well for the Porsche. So yeah, maybe we're gonna have to see how much that first race where they didn't get any points, how much that is gonna count.
Yeah, but I'm not so experienced on this track, so I can't really judge it, and I never drove over here with the Porsche. But the second sector of this track is really technical. So you have a lot of I would say low to medium speed corners. You need to be in a very agile car to get the car moving from left to right in that section. So if you look at the characteristics of Sector 2 and maybe of the Porsche, it should be a good fit. Then on the other side, they're probably losing a lot of time on the two straights there are. So
Yeah.
need to find out myself when I'm driving here again. But
Did you because you did practice for this track, right?
I definitely did, but I did in the BMW because I'm driving in a competitive series or a competitor series, I would say. Competitive as well, but I need to drive there I think in 2 weeks time. So I thought, well, okay, let's start getting to know the track a bit because I really never drove on this track in any game I used to play. It wasn't that easy. Normally a track you can learn in like 10, 20-ish laps, something like that, and even after 50, 100 laps I still gaining time somewhere and losing time elsewhere, so it's like really difficult to get to know the right lines and find the proper speed, which those guys definitely have. So far I think I've driven a 35-1 on I would say 25 liters of fuel, so compared to those guys I really need to find that extra few tenths to become competitive. But it's a cool track. It's a really cool track to drive. Like I said in the beginning, there's a lack of grip all over the place. But it's a combination of quick corners, slow corners, very high braking points, or yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, exactly. As we're watching the battle between the 45 and 46 cars, Gilles Hublot just overtook sort of aggressively the 45 car. Was a bit of contact there, but yeah, he made a move, made it stick. So, what can you say?
Yeah, he's doing a good job as well, Gilles Hublot. So
I think
nice one.
Might be able to.
Blur Fission Racing VTEC. Nice.
Ooh.
Oh, did they hit each other, or is just Hublot losing the car? Because that looked really strange.
I can get a replay here.
He got hit. Yeah.
I
would say he got hit. He got hit just slightly. Tough luck.
I don't think it was intentional, but didn't look intentional. But I think it rarely is, and especially in league racing. Of course, I think that's one of the things I like more about league racing. Is that there's a bit more accountability. So yeah, just because you're on the same Discord, it's just easier to. Of course, it's a small thing, because yeah, you might as well just leave a Discord server and you have someone has something to say to you. You're long gone, you know. So that it doesn't mean a lot, but at the same time, just yes, there's of course, because there's that sense of community, and if you race with the same people more than one time, I think that's sort of raise a sense of community.
Definitely, and the more you race together with the same people, the more you get to know each other, and you also become kind of predictable to each other. So you know how certain drivers behave, which is really nice, because then you get even better racing, as you can prepare for a certain move that you are expecting from your opponent, and counting on such a thing also makes yourself a bit quicker, because you can pick the right line. Make sure you, for example, if you get overtaken, get the right line and make sure you win on the exit. I think, like you said, having a close community like DC has, it's definitely also improving the racing in general.
Yeah, I think I wasn't really sim racing all that long myself before I joined DC Sim Racing, but probably like half a year or something. But yeah, I can really see how a community for me really speeded up the development in terms of skill. And I'm still not a quick guy, and I might never be, but that's yeah, at some point it's down to talent. I mean, I have a lot of fun, but the most important thing is that I have been improving, and I'm still improving, I feel. So it's just for a big part, that's just down to being in a community and having people around you to sort of yeah, reflect on, see how they're doing, and compare against, even in the championships as well. I think this season we've had 3 races in the yeah, let's call it the national championship. I think you're on the you're in the first position. Am I correct?
I'm Mr. Lucky One indeed. So so far so good, I would say. So yeah, don't cheer too soon, but yeah, it's definitely a good position to be in this stage. I think it's 3 races done, and I believe 2 to go. So I think next week we have a race on Suzuka, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not sure, but the last race is at... Ooh, I need to look it up.
The next race is at Bathurst.
Ah, then the last one is at Suzuka.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I've started practicing for that. I think yeah, I sort of decided to focus just more on doing longer stints instead of hot lapping, because, as I say, I'm just not a quick guy, and I think that's not the aspect of... Of course, everyone wants to be quicker, and that's... if you don't want to be quicker, then this probably is the hobby for you. But yeah, at the same time, I do enjoy the longer races and the sort of tactical side of things that you really have in endurance racing. I do enjoy that just a bit more than just straight up hot lapping, because yeah, I'm just not the best at that particular aspect.
But like you said, I mean, I think you don't have to. You're not only having fun if you're the quickest or when you're in P last. Everybody can have fun in every single position as long as you keep the motivation high. There's somebody to fight with, and yeah, if you have the feeling that you're improving yourself every single lap, and that's independent from which position you're fighting for. So in DC, I think it's really close everywhere. You have maybe a top 10 together or top 5 whatsoever, and then you have like a big group in the middle who's fighting also really hard for positions and for points. So it's really cool to see that everybody is enjoying themselves. And it's like you said, it's not only about hot lapping, by the way. It's lapping a lot. If you do a lot of laps, you gain the most. And get to know the track, get to know the car, and even without touching, for example, the setup, you can still gain easily some tenths here and some tenths there. So that's what I learned over the course of the past 6 months, 7 months. It's not about touching setups, it's really about getting confidence in the car, making sure that you are driving on the limit before you start touching the setup.
Yeah.
In the past I used to, well, try to find the time in setup changes, but even though it maybe brought me a bit further, it also brought you a bit more down. Yeah, what happened over there?
Stijn Scheffer had a, yeah, I think, sort of missed his braking point. To be able to look at a replay in a few seconds, but yeah, he it's the third glitch motorsport car, I think. He just got hit, but yeah, the Ferrari did, I think, did a good effort to not overtake him. Yeah, let him keep the position. So it's just an honest mistake, and they can continue their way.
Yeah. So to finish my story, it's more like what I wanted to say is that for beginners in sim racing, don't try to get everything out of the setup. Really try to get to understand the car, get to understand the track, and try to gain some time by getting the experience. I think that's way more important than having a setup change somewhere. Of course, yes, a basic setup is pretty useful to start with, and you have different types of different creators of setups. So getting one of these is always really helpful from a starting perspective. And there's also a big difference in from who you're getting it. So you have setups from, I don't know, name them CDA for example. They're really stable. They're really helping you guys to in every category, I would say. To have a good start. Oh wow! That's way too late.
That's again the same.
Oh, and he spins.
Same thing as the last lap, and that seems. Yikes.
Oh wow, that's really close. That was a really bad rejoin.
Doesn't look good. There was
he needs to give back the position. If you ask me, if you're a gentleman, you give back the position.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. He should.
He doesn't.
He should probably just stand at the side of the road for a few seconds.
That's what they call a proper scent.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's the same thing last lap, and then he was, decent enough to give back the position, but this seemed like the same thing but worse. So.
Yeah, this was a bit too exaggerating. I think poor guys more on the and his teammate, so need to recover from that crash.
Yeah, that's just taking a look at where the close battles are. See a position change here for the 260 Nismo.
And also P19 and 20 are close together, like 4/10 between them. But you can see on the straight that the McLaren is pulling away from the Porsche. And I think everybody is kind of settling itself before the swap of drivers.
Yeah.
Maybe we can see some fireworks after.
Yeah, that's just
because gaps have been created, right? I mean, if you look at the at the timing list, the gaps have been created, kind of, like 2-3 seconds in between everybody. A few battles are still there, but
yeah, I think
it's very limited at the moment.
Absolutely. So the top 10 is definitely. As you say, a couple of gaps have been created. I think the 217 car is really. The Ferrari might just be the car, as we just discussed. It might just be a good car for this circuit, whereas the 117 maybe isn't so much. The Porsche. Yeah, they're not dominating like we expected.
Yeah, I think it was a good gamble I made. So 11 seconds difference is it's a huge gap.
Yeah.
Sure. So where Degano and Bini were basically dominating last race, it's their teammates who are dominating this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's the 217 actually just 3 points behind the leader in the championship, who, by the way, the 21 car isn't present on the grid today. So they're definitely going to lose that first position in the championship. To pull out with the championship, apparently.
And I'm still looking at P19 and 20. They keep on driving circles around each other, so to say. It's 3/10, 4/10. I'm waiting kind of for them to for Stelter to make the move on the Bond. Seems that he can't get into the get closer into the braking zones as the McLaren has a bit more top speed, it seems.
Just looking at the chat right now, Tim. I see Jens Delar saying great race from Thibaut Verbeuren so far. Just Jens, do you know which car number that is? Because
Verbeuren, you said?
yeah,
I think it's car number 23 in P16. They're doing pretty decent indeed.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
within a second from their from Harmakaya. Hussein, I think, is his first name.
Yeah.
Well, doing a pretty decent job. I'm not sure which position they started, but P16 ain't that bad, I would say.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, it looks like they started from P16 as well. So yeah, the 23 car. Let's see what with the upcoming driver swap. I think 15 more minutes.
I'm not sure. I think they can start doing the driver swap around minute 52:30 up to 37:50, 37:30 as well. So it's like 50 minutes in between. So curious whether which teams are coming in early and which ones are staying out for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I think with the gaps that we're currently having, yeah, it's going to be difficult for anyone to really undercut someone. It's not like, I mean, perhaps the 38 car is just in 1/10 of the BMW in front of him. He could profit by yeah, going in early as long as the 314 car doesn't do the same. But he could try to undercut, but in the top 10, yeah, there's just bigger gaps and just a few seconds. It's gonna be BMW there.
I think that's a back marker, right? The Porsche.
Porsche.
I think it's a back marker. Should be.
Yeah, that's
Martin van Munster.
The 25th position. So the 217 car also has the best lap, 1:34.792.
Yeah, that's really quick. That's race pace, you know, so it's insane.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the quickest car right now with 260 kilometers per hour is the Audi. 586 car.
Daniel, what car do you like to drive most?
For the longest time it used to be the Lexus, but sort of made the switch to the Lamborghini, which yeah, sort of, it does really seem to fit my driving style. As I've said oftentimes before, I'm absolutely not the quickest driver of the world, so I really have to. But I think everyone needs to have sort of a feeling with any car. And yeah, right now for the upcoming 24-hour event, Watkins Glen, for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
We're going to drive the BMW, which I think is just a really stable choice, and especially for we have 6 drivers in the team, so for that sort of event you need to you have a car that you need to have a car that everyone enjoys driving. And I mean, of course, it's 24 hours. It seems like work, but it's still sim racing at some level. It used to be a hobby, even if it's a 24-hour race. So.
Definitely. And I think it's a good choice. It's a very decent car, and it's predictable in a way. So most often, like I said, it suits everybody's driving style, kind of. And it's easy to adapt to it and to go quick with it quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Just,
speaking about Lamborghinis.
Yeah. Just a nice color here. Looks like is that a lemon?
Ooh, like a Randy Smith, I would say. But I like experience on this track, so I'm not sure if a undercut would be very strong over here or overcut. Not sure what the tire degradation is over here, because I think the track is pretty smooth. And
Yeah,
so
but you
I'm not sure how high the tire wear would be.
you do have this last corner, of course. I think I'm just a bit too late here. We do have that last corner, which has a lot of bank, and of course it is pretty hard on the tires, of course.
On the left ones, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, could be indeed. I mean, if you compare it to Paul Ricard, for example, you have the Mistral straight, and after you go through that fast right-hander, over there the tires really degrade very strong, very hard, especially front left. Well, after half an hour you've got massive graining, but it's also caused because of the fact that tires cool quite a lot on the straight, especially the fronts. And if you have wow, missed that one while talking. But if your tires cool down, the pressure drops, and you have that fast right-hander, then it's easy to get graining on your tires. I think on this track it's a bit different. Yes, the last right-hander is well, pretty difficult, pretty hard on the tires probably, but seeing the fact that this track has kind of evenly right and left corners, and tires stay stable all around the track. I'm not sure if you would have graining or whatsoever on the front left, or blisters. I don't have. I think you have that very quickly.
Yeah.
That's maybe experience I lack, so I'm not entirely sure. I need to do the long run still to to well understand how it works, but
yeah, exactly.
the hot and spicy team. Nice.
Yummy. 1 second, be right back.
Yes. Yeah, so probably Christian is like a basketball fan. Should be. Nice fight over here. It wasn't even a fight. No, it was a back mark. Wasn't it? Oh, it was for precision. So it was Hublau who lost position against Wallach and Field. Let's see what the Honda can do on the straight compared to the Audi. I think Honda has got massive top speed on, for example, Paul Ricard and Spa. I'm wondering whether it has proper top speed over here as well. Should be, right? No. Well, and the Audi has top speed as well, so. And the pit window opened, so really curious to see who's coming in first, and who stays out a bit longer to create a gap.
Yeah, just let's see if there are any cars that go in straight away. And no one so far, I think.
I mean, if you're in traffic, I would definitely start planning to do a pit stop and swap drivers. But with the distance between most of the cars, I'm not too sure. It's a very long pit straight. You lose quite a lot of position, so if you pit too soon, you can end up in traffic at the back. So.
Yeah, I think we discussed that briefly the last time, and I think it's interesting that, yeah, of course, one aspect is that at the end of the day we're having fun. It's a hobby, so you're sort of out of, in that respect, you want to sort of swap just straight in the middle of the race where you both have equal amounts of time in the car.
Exactly, yeah.
But on the other hand, I mean, I'm competitive enough that if I would be in the team, and I'm not, again, not really quick, but still, I have my battles around my sort of speed level. Just... Oh, hold on, 1 second.
Still nobody making a pit stop, so probably they're extending a bit altogether.
Yes, sorry. Just let them walk away. Yeah, I think I was saying, yeah, you can sort of have make the switch in the middle of the race, in respect of just equal amount of driving time. But yeah, I think I would be more for the competitive mindset. So if I'm, you know, if I'm stuck behind someone, I can imagine it doesn't happen often. But if I would be, then I would still, yeah, go in earlier and have less driving time. But if my teammate is able to take advantage of that, I would definitely, yeah, I think we should try that. But that just makes it a team effort, of course.
I think you predicted something really well. I think P Morandi, so P19 pitted. He was in traffic, got hit previously by I think it was Scheffer in the Ferrari. Probably had some damage and wanted to make a pit stop when being in traffic. So wondering where he will end up after all the pit stops. So I think he was on P11 before the pit stop. So really curious where he ends up.
Yeah, so that was the triple
The 38.
The 38.
Yeah, the 38. 38
Okay.
McLaren.
Yeah.
They changed from Morandi to Grossi. And maybe they can gain some new positions, some good positions by this early stop.
Ooh, they're getting a drive-through though.
Well, then it's bye-bye race, so very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. But I think just back to the standings page here, but yeah, they were doing pretty good, right?
I'm not sure drive-through when you go into the pits. I'm not sure, but track limits or
It's
speeding?
Probably speeding.
Because normally what you get for speeding is like stop and go 30, right? So maybe it was like a minor breach.
I'm thinking, yeah, of course you have to, yeah, the part of the track where you, yeah, sort of have to cut a bit. But I'm not sure. It's not really a track that's really heavy on track limits. I would say.
No, definitely not.
So yeah, but you could be right. But the drive-through would be for track cuts, because obviously they are here.
Yeah, so Joey Thijs has made the pit stop, and I think Yannick got into the car, coming straight out behind the other DC car, who's one lap in front of them, of course. Still needs to make the pit stop, so that's how much you lose in one lap. If you're like 10 seconds behind somebody in front of you, you will lose a complete lap because of the long pit straight.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Nick Timmermans says, it's Dutch, so I'll see if I can translate it. Yeah, so he says stop and go 30 or disqualify with speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's what I remember as well. If you go in way too fast, it's definitely a DSQ.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a stop and go 30 if you would have like let's say, a minor breach. So either might be some track limit cut when coming into the pits, and maybe coming out of it. So I'm not too sure.
We're looking at the.
Yeah, this is teamwork, right? I mean,
yeah.
It doesn't make sense for Mena to fight Yannick, who's on fresher tires.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well done.
These, of course, you've driven for the DC team as well, right?
I'm still doing, so it's a really fun team. 6 people. Most of the time we are evenly quick. So,
that's
Alexander. That's not a place to park your car.
Let's see. Doesn't Doesn't look like he's...
Maybe making a phone call and call hands-free, I don't know. But...
Mij niet appen.
oh, Team Baguette. Yeah. I think Ericsson hit us.
Yeah, that is...
Maybe a disconnect or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Because where is he standing still? Is it...
Yeah,
What's this?
let's see.
If somebody knows where this is, just type it into the chat and let us know, because this part of the track I've never seen before.
I'm trying to figure it out here, but...
Oh, it's the back straight. I think it's the back straight.
Okay.
Isn't it?
So, I think he disconnected just now, but...
Yeah,
there was a parking lot there, but there's just a queue. That's just a clue for you.
Oh. They completed that drive-through.
Yeah.
And can start getting positions from there. But yeah, it's such a long pit straight, so it's really difficult to, well, to get back into the fights in front of you.
Yeah. I think the best they can do right now, just checking, I think the first 20 positions give points. So the 20th position is the last point-giving position, so to speak. So yeah, to even get in the points, that should be possible, right? We're still in the pit window, so a couple of guys still have to come in. Just looking at well, the entire top 4.
Yeah, I think P2 and P3 just pitted, so Menno and also what's his name, Degano. So they changed drivers as well. So Chris in the car and also Bini.
Yeah, exactly. So
nice livery, this the Turner car, the remote sports car. Lovely.
And Jens shouting out to Thibaut Verbeuren again. He's in P10 now.
Yeah, it's a good livery, the Queen Molly. I think it's from the American DC.
Yeah, it's looks really good.
Yeah.
This pit stop 41 seconds so far.
P1 as well. Having a pit stop right now. I mean, they were far ahead, so probably it's a free pit stop.
We have look at that lap times.
This takes so long, waiting and waiting.
Yeah, there we see him leave. This is the 46 car. 45 and 46 car, by the way, that just passed him. Here we see the number 4, but they actually went in as well, so... It's a long pit straight.
Wow, I think after or next to Spa, I think this is probably the second longest pit straight. It takes ages to go in and out this pit straight.
Yeah, it's just getting a drive-through, but particularly getting a 30 second stop and go. Yeah, that's really... It's a terrible punishment.
And definitely, if you want to get a drive-through, it's definitely not here.
Yeah, it's
getting a drive-through on Kailami or Donington, it's not that harsh. I think it's roughly taking between 17 and 22 seconds, but over here it's like easily 40 seconds to get in and out.
Yeah, that's
maybe even more, because the pace on the straight is so high.
Yeah, it's a long wait when you're in the car and waiting to get through the pit lane. And it's tempting to make a mistake and go off the limiter just a bit too soon.
Yeah, and I was explaining, I'm still driving for the DC Sim Racing team. Evenly quick guys, really making fun, but also really competitive together. But in general, fun is definitely rule number 1, and then if you keep on having fun, results will come
absolutely.
by itself, I would say. So
yeah, as I've said, I mean, this at the end of the day is just a hobby, and Yeah,
It's a really expensive hobby indeed.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think, yeah, we're always, in our mind, we're always going to take it a lot more seriously than we should probably. But yeah, it's as you say, fun should be the most important thing.
Yeah,
Times.
definitely. I think, speaking about DC, I think Errol Verwij, he jumped into the car. He took over from his fellow teammate.
So that would be
Or P14 and then 7.
yes, absolutely.
The hot and spicy team, I believe. Yeah, smile and be happy.
Yeah, 997 car. Taking a look at the standings. They are in.
I think tough season for them as well.
Yeah, I remember that they had a tough time in Silverstone.
Didn't they have the stop and go 30 because of speeding?
Yeah, I think so. They did finish last time in the 24th place, and right now they're 14th. So I think they already had trouble before their pit stop in the last race, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it looks. I mean, that car, I think it is damaged, right? It's pretty damaged, but
Looks like it.
but still, I mean, they're in the 14th position now. So yeah, I think they should be really happy to at least yeah, get a good batch of points. Of course, everyone prefers to win, but
yeah, 36.3 is not too bad if you look at the lap times from the teams in front of them. Because driver front doing 37.1, 37.8, 36.4, so they're quicker than the three guys, the three teams in front of them. So there's definitely something to win if they keep on continue having this pace.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're 2.5 seconds removed from 314, I think. There's Harmakaya with the pit stop.
Yeah, he was driving 38 seconds. I think it's also because of the pit entry, right?
Yeah.
A very difficult place, so you lose a lot of time. But he was driving slower, or they were driving slower lap times few laps before. It's a good moment to pit then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see where they come out.
Alan
so they
Brown.
lose a lot.
Alan Brown says in the chat, it's Alan from FRL. How is everyone?
How's everyone?
Well, that question I can answer. I cannot tell you what FRL stands for. But I can tell you that I'm doing fine. How are you?
And Errol's getting into the fight with P12, so P12 and P13 within 0.3 of each other, so probably gonna make the move anywhere soon. Because he's like 2 seconds quicker at the moment, Errol away. Oh! I shouldn't have said that. I jinxed it.
That was startled Errol a bit.
Yeah, and I think that the overspeed Errol was a bit too high. 2 seconds difference in lap time, then not expecting the car in front braking this early. But yeah, it's always the car behind that's, I would say, at fault. Should anticipate on what happens in front of them, of course.
Yeah.
So, well, what he should be doing is get back into the fight, get back to P12, P13 first, and then P12, and start to try and make an overtake anywhere soon again. Because, like I said, he has the overspeed. It was like 2 seconds almost 2 seconds quicker than the car in front. So probably can catch up again.
Yeah. Obviously, last lap wasn't as good after the that huge moment there. But yeah, hopefully he can get straight up to that same speed and yeah, as you say,
Yep.
get back those places.
I think P10 and P9 are really close together as well, 4/10. I'm not gonna jinx it again, but those guys are really close.
I noticed, by the way, that the 25 car, Dostijn Scheffer,
25. Yeah.
he has not swapped a driver.
He didn't.
So
Probably is driving at his own and probably gets disqualified at the end of the race.
yeah, I think Dostijn was also driving the first leg, of course, where the pit window was passed. So that means that no legitimate pit stop has been made. So yeah, that's even though he's P6 right now, that's definitely going to give him a disqualification, unfortunately. I'm not sure if his teammate was able to make it, or perhaps he just wanted to do the race anyway. That's of course his right.
I mean, it's good practice for him in the end. So
Yeah, sure.
getting the laps in always helps.
It's still fun to race, of course.
Yep, but having a solo race or solo event in a swap series is not allowed, so you will be punished afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. But as you see, Mukmutov.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I think this second person we see do that. Just take a different line there. I'm not sure if he's sort of outbraking himself or it's just a different line that they're taking, but
and Errol overtook already P14. See, so
yeah.
Well, he was P14, now he's P12, so that's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. It's the yellow flag there for Artem Kostrov. Ooh, losing it again. So the 38 car that we've been getting a drive-through. Let's say, I think that's back marker even, or maybe someone who's in front of them even. Was that the 202 car? Yeah, it is. So they, I think they're not on the same lap. The 38 car is 2 laps ahead, I think, or 1 lap ahead by the looks of it. But they are 55 seconds behind the number 18 position, so it's gonna be tough to make up any positions. Christoph Samain is a full 24 seconds behind the number 1 car. So the 217 is really dominant here this race. And the 117 car is now even back to the 4th place.
Yeah, they lost the position to the Aston Martin, I think.
So that happened to the... Oh, did you see that? Black McLaren's probably... That's another incident. No one was... I hope he knew or was aware. Yikes, what's all this? I think the tires are a bit warm and he should probably cool down a bit.
It seems like he's drifting a bit like Ken Block, so maybe he switched off his DC. I mean, because I've never seen the BMW doing such things if you drive it normally. Look at this, I mean, it seems like he just switched off his DC.
That's... Why?
Yeah.
I would say you wouldn't want to do that, but
No, but that's really difficult because others don't expect that, right? So he didn't do it yet, but could basically ruin races for all the others.
yeah.
This is also not a line you normally would pick. He's taking some exotic lines, I would say.
Yeah, that's
Getting into the pits.
really not sure what's going on here, but so yeah, he goes in outside of the pit window, so that was the 999 car.
And I think Marky, the P3, is catching up to Chris Semang, 5/10 a lap. So might have a fight over there as well in a few laps. While Yannick Koerts is catching up with Bini, P4. So there's still some position to fight for P2 and P3, and then you have P4 and P5.
Yeah.
Definitely get into the fight.
So that's not this car that's coming up.
No, it's the car in front of him.
The Aston Martin, that's no, sorry, that's the Porsche that's in front of him. So could the 117 lose another position here?
Definitely not what I expected.
No, absolutely not.
That's the fun thing about sim racing as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unpredictable sometimes.
But yeah, these guys not on the same lap. There's a bit of flashing of the lights here by Yannick. Marchi, 1.5 seconds from Christophe Sommeil. This is the 315 Ferrari that was 3/10 quicker than the 116 car. That's in the P9 right now. It's the last lap. So, yeah, let's see if you can make
Speaking about catching up, by the way, RFA 2.5 seconds quicker than P11 a lap. So
wow.
He's definitely gonna fight with P11 and probably also. Oh well, that gap is a bit too big between 11 and 10 because that's 13 seconds. But
I mean, in terms of lap times, I would rate him P6 right now, probably, just out of looking from the.
Looks like it. Definitely top 6 pace.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one lap, but it looks like it that he's quick in a few laps already. So he's really consistent in his lap times.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate that he is so far behind right now.
His best time is 1:35.792. So that's definitely up there in the top 10.
More than decent in race pace, so
yeah,
it's really good.
So just back to Marchi, who's within 1 second now.
I'm wondering how hard Chris would defend his position. Knowing him, he doesn't give any gifts to somebody else. So
yeah, Chris is. I mean, he's been just like last season in our again, so to speak, National Cup. He was pretty dominant. But I think he won the championship with 1 race to go. But yeah, I notice he's sort of, I would think, 4th, 5th in the championship right now, in the National Cup. So he seems to be under a bit more pressure. Maybe that's just car choice. I mean, he definitely won't have gone worse in terms of skill. So
I think it's a combination of in the beginning of the season having just little time to practice, and then in combination with others, of course, getting better every single lap as well, and that in combination with probably I wouldn't say bad car choice, but around Kailami, the first race, it was definitely not the right pick, the BMW. They had some changes in gearing, which made it really difficult for us to drive the BMW around there, because you were always in between some gears. I don't want to say it's becoming slow over there, but it's not as quick as it was before. So there he had some bad luck, also being in traffic, which didn't gave him the opportunity to gain positions. So yeah, it's a combination of car choice and little practice for him.
Yeah, that's gonna. Pace is always gonna suffer from that. Yeah, I think that sort of brings back to the beginning of the stream. She discussed just need to do a lot of laps,
Yeah,
lots of
you need
track
to.
time, and it's just so much more important. I mean, especially in endurance races, you can win so many positions by just not crashing or making silly mistakes or getting stop and go penalties, or just driving, avoiding contact, silly stuff. That's just so much more important than hot lapping, and that's really what I'm trying to focus on. And I find that also gives me a lot more fun than, for me personally, fun isn't, especially in hot lapping. It's important to be consistent and obviously as quick as possible. But yeah, the most important thing is that you just need to survive the longer races.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that baseline pace, so to say, then you can try to get the most out of it in hot lapping. But for me, it's also really important to get that baseline pace as quick as possible, to make sure that it's as high as possible as well, the baseline pace, to be consistent during a stint or an endurance event. And this is a short endurance event. I mean, it's 2 times a sprint race basically, but still you need to keep the car in good shape, and you need to maintain the tires and the pace during the 45-minute stint.
Oh, here we see.
Yeah, they're getting close now, so we have a fight on hands, so difficult to choose if we want to see P2, P3 or P4 and P5.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. We also have...
we need to have some split screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be an excellent feature. From ACC race controllers listening and has some free time, then we would love that feature. But see what you can do. There we see Yannick is sort of taking a look at around the 117 car.
He's lining it up right now, but there's no... I'm saying there's no opportunity to do it, but he is going to do it. Let's see. Oh,
yeah,
no.
This is one of those parts where grip is essential, so how can the...
Yeah, but he won't pass because this is a left-hander, right?
Yeah.
Or does he take the pace with him? Oh, it's not.
Well, 117 does give him a lot of room.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is good racing. This is really fair racing.
And that's great. I mean, 117, they're very quick, but they now they can finally show that they're good racers as well. So, and of course, same compliments to Yannick, who's driving the 112 car.
Yeah, but this is also smart racing, I think, from Bini, because he knows that he is not quicker than Yannick, and Yannick makes the move, and in that case it doesn't make sense to defend the position as hard as you want, maybe. Whilst I think there's a position change in P2.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the replay from position 8.
Yeah, there's fights all over the place right now.
Was a bit of contact here. Yeah, I think the Ferrari didn't want to give that up. Looks by the looks of it, but
Chris has been overtaken by Marky. So.
Yeah,
it was to be expected because Marky was like 4 or 5 tenths quicker a lap. So And what I was saying, I mean, it's clever racing to let somebody by, not lose time together. Because
Yeah.
if you lose too much time, then the guys behind are catching up, and you might lose even more positions. So sometimes it's clever to just let the guy pass and try to get into the slipstream to gain some time.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
good racing by Bini.
I have to say, personally, this is probably, these two corners are probably the most difficult part of the track. Because you really have to get the angle right.
Yeah, what I felt when practicing this this track, the right hander in the last sector, before you have the left hander onto the main straight, you need to brake so early, and you need to almost cut the corner, but you don't want to cut the corner because there's like a big sausage curb over there.
Yeah.
But if you go a bit more to the outside, then well, you get sucked on the grass, I would say. The same happens with the penultimate corner, the left-hander. If you go too wide over there, you get onto the grass very easily. You need to stay close to the inside, which is maybe contradicting to doing a normal racing line, because normally you would like to go from the outside to the inside, back to the outside, but over there it's like, oh, what happens? They hit each other?
No, I don't think so. Let's
Just spinning around.
do a quick replay. I think they're just losing it on the exit here. Oh, they did.
Oh,
did
no,
get
they
touched.
tapped. They tapped.
It's the 38 car. Question mark?
The question mark. Wasn't it
Let's see.
315? Ferrari?
I think we can.
Yeah, it was the Ferrari, right? Yeah, it was the Ferrari.
217.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Makhmutov.
Yeah, so I mean the 217, they're in the first position with a 24-second gap. They could get a penalty for that. We see that 202 car is getting a 30-second penalty. By the
So
way,
that would mean an instant 15-second penalty if the judges would or the stewards would judge that he's at fault. Because I believe not waiting for your opponent and such an incident is by default 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So they can have that, well, up to now, but there's still the pressure then, 7 seconds between their virtual position or virtual time compared to
yeah, and
right now.
just looking at the last lap, the lap times of the 807 car in P2, they were yeah, just a bit quicker than the 217 car, but of course they had that little incident. So
But not to make assumptions. I mean, first the opponent needs to file the complaint, and then the stewards will have a look at it.
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
or is it live stewarding?
there is no live stewarding for this.
All right.
But, usually there are around 10 or 12 incidents, and this is absolutely not a request for more incidents. I mean, if you have something to report, you should definitely do that. But yeah, it's we're all volunteers, obviously, and yeah, we have to go through all those incidents. And I mean, I can't say, maybe there have been 1 or 2 incidents reported where I thought, well, who cares? But yeah, that's just part of the steward job, of course. But
Well, I'm just questioning myself. What's going on in somebody's mind if you have such a big gap in to P2? Why do you want to risk it to hit somebody in front like a back marker? There's no reason for doing that. There's sufficient gap between P1 and P2. I mean, I know we all want to drive as fast as possible every single lap, but
yeah, it's really
just tricky.
was an unforced error in that respect. But yeah, I think that's also one of the charms of endurance racing, that you have to keep, even if you're in first position with a 25-second gap, or should I say, especially if you're in first position with a 25-second gap, you should keep that sharpness and yeah, keep expecting that who drives around you can make a mistake.
Wow.
And, we're looking at the
Speaking about sense and risking
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oof.
So that's, I mean, that's a back marker. So that's, I would call that bad communication between both parties.
That was just not necessary. You can also wait for another few corners and then overtake the car in front.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
And Errol Verwijk is climbed up to second, 10th position.
Can he still gain some positions? I think he can, right? It's like 2.5 seconds to the car in front. And he's around 5/10 quicker a lap, so...
Yeah, so with not 15 minutes left anymore, but...
Oh, P8 is also close by.
Yeah, should be able to do that. So still driving around with the 30-second penalty, which he has to take, unfortunately.
And normally you should take these stop and go penalties or drive-throughs within 3 laps, I believe. So
yeah,
really one of these laps he needs to come in.
Yeah,
I think he served already his stop and go a lap ago, and then probably he got another one.
That would be most unfortunate.
He's kind of collecting them, I believe.
Yeah, he does appear to have a nice collection. I think he's been in the pit 3 times already, so...
Yeah, once for the driver swap and then at least once for stop and go 30.
Yeah. And then another one, and we get another one, so not sure if they're gonna drive in this lap.
Oh. It was like a Latifi mistake or something.
Yeah, he didn't think so, and then yeah, he decided otherwise.
Well, this looks, by the looks of it, this looks like a normal pace to come in. It's a bit of a GP Elite livery, if you ask me.
Whatever.
If you watch Porsche Super Cup, you probably see this livery more often with, I think it was Groeneveld this year. Lucas Groeneveld, who was driving the red and white Porsche in the Porsche Super Cup. Simple livery, but it just looks good.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, I'm absolutely not familiar with that championship, but yeah, I mean that's basically how a car should look to me. Just simple and yeah, just making a commercial message, so to speak. But I mean, there's all kinds of fancy designs and might look nice, but I mean, this is these cars, they do look great. But
I wanted to say these are probably too busy for you. Too full of details.
I mean, and there's a part of me that I can see that it looks good, but not for me so much.
I like it though. I mean, I'm also more a fan of cars that look simple, like classic, but in a way, I like this one. And I can say because I'm driving the greenish colored livery.
Okay, so you really have a couple of
yeah, we have a couple of these. I mean, I think in solo racing, I think Chris is driving a pink one. Yannick is driving a light blue one. So yes, we have a couple of ones, and we just tried out colors, or I say we, but Joey Tysons has created those. We just tried a couple of colors, and well, you name a really weird combination, and it fitted. So it was like, okay, well, doesn't really matter what kind of color you add to the car, it looks good.
Yeah, it just works.
Because Yannick is driving it right now together with Joey, and they're driving a red and bluish livery. So, right, this is red with blue.
Yeah.
Blue layer at the bottom as the main color, and then red camouflage all over the car.
Yeah, it does look really good.
I like it. But yeah, that's the good thing about taste. I mean, it's different for everybody. So
yeah, I think I mean it does. Yeah, probably fit the GT3 concept where yeah, you just have all these different cars and styles, so to speak, and yeah, to have lots of differences in the liveries, of course, should be part of that. Should be part of that. Yeah, diverse set of cars. And Errol just went to P8, or was he already there? Looks like he made up a position, but
he just overtook Parrot Solo.
oh.
He's really having a good race. I mean, besides the fact that he, I think, hit some hit and Barry. That looks like a lot of damage in the front.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But Errol's having a really good race. I think he came out after the swap, and correct me if I'm wrong, around 17, 16. And with his pace, he climbed up all the way to P8. So he's definitely doing a good job, and he's not there yet because he's now catching up to Niki Dera.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, of course, Jostein Schepper in the 6th place is not going to be keeping that position, so he's definitely on the 7th place. And as you say, he's catching up with Niki with well, just more than 8 minutes to go. So.
But where did they start? Do you know where Errol and his teammates started?
They started in the 19th place. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, his teammate also made up a couple of places. So,
amazing job.
Yeah, very good job by his teams.
Well, they can use the result, right? Because of the last race where they weren't very unfortunate.
Yeah,
they can use the result to climb some positions in the championship.
Yeah. So they, say, had a bit of bad luck last times.
Where do we still have battles? I think there's only one with Makhmutov. 8 tenths in between. It's quicker than Parrot Solo.
Yeah.
Yannick is coming close to Chris Mine, by the way. I'm not sure what happened over there, but it's only 3 seconds, I believe.
Oh.
Maybe bad luck with traffic, right? So you also need to be a bit lucky where you catch up to the traffic and where you got led by the back marker.
Yeah.
But it's also not a... Yeah, there's a huge difference between those. 3 seconds Chris lost. So probably ending up behind the back marker in the middle sector, which cost him quite some time.
Yeah.
Because that's not a lap time for Chris, 39.0. He definitely should drive like 36s. 35s maybe.
So do you think, have you driven in DC races where you had 2 cars driving at the same time? So I wonder if these guys are communicating.
I'm not sure if they're communicating at the moment because 2 different teams. I think I can have a look. Yeah, they're all in the same voice chat, so
Okay.
probably they will communicate together. And I know they won't take stupid risks. In the end, you're also a team.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it's also like a competition within the team, right? So I'm the quickest. No, you're the quickest, and you try to always win against your teammates.
Yeah.
I think, honestly speaking, I would take more risks with somebody else from another team than my own teammates. Just to, first of all, keep everybody in a good mood, but second of all, to not run each other off track. There's no need for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, as you say, people are not gonna like each other. There's contact between teammates, so.
No, but there's good fights within the team. So we are driving multiple championships where we're driving against each other or positions. So we're doing the SRB League where I think we ended up 1, 2, 3 in the last 2 races. Really close fights, really bumper to bumper, and I think we have the same thing in the National League for DC.
Yeah.
We're really close together, but there's a bit more competition in the National League next to only DC drivers in front, because there's also Tim van Mil who's doing a tremendous job in his Audi, and who's not here, but Nick Timmermans also is in the front. But he's a DC driver, so
Yep.
yeah, there's really good competition all over the place. Not only in swap series, but also in the National League. There's really good fights.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think it's great that on one hand we can have those good fights, and I think we keep seeing new entries. I think, I'm not sure if you're with DC all that long yourself.
Since the beginning of this year, I think my first season was the Spring Cup, I believe it was, somewhere in March until was it May, June, something like that. So that was my first official season with DC. Before that, I was just doing some team races with the DC Sim Racing team. Yeah, and I'm enjoying my time in this league. Did some other leagues before, but yeah, I think there's fair racing all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
Most of the time, I have to say, there's always that moment that you are too competitive, right? And you want to get a bit more out of it, which is maybe impossible, but
yeah, but
it happens, right? It's racing.
Yeah, and it's a trade-off of being competitive, or trying to be competitive, and being safe, and yeah, that just doesn't always go hand in hand, unfortunately. So, I mean, people make mistakes, and I mean, we have 50 cars, maybe.
In the National League, you mean?
Yeah, in the National League, I think.
I think there's around 34, 40 cars indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, of really differing skill levels, I would say. And,
yeah.
But there's a fight for everyone, and that's great to see. But
yeah, what goes hand in hand, by the way, like, and that also causes sometimes the troubles on track. It's like if you are really close to each other, really close, and it's about tenths of seconds, then you sometimes want to go for that gap which is not there. So to force somebody in a mistake or whatsoever, try to scare somebody that you try to make the move. And sometimes, most of the times, it's going all right, but sometimes you just, get hit with each other. And yeah, then it's just a matter of being a gentleman, returning the position if it's a major incident. But if it's like exchanging some paint, I mean, that's GT racing, right?
Yeah, that probably should happen, and does make it a lot more enjoyable to watch. So
I've never seen a game of chess, by the way, but we're not playing chess, right?
No,
so
exactly. So yeah, that's what makes it thrilling to do, and to as a hobby, of course, you want to get that buzz as well. I mean, that's why we're doing this, right? You want to get those exciting battles, and yeah, that's
definitely. and I think it's going to be the final lap for Pellegrino. He starts this lap right now, so one more lap to go.
Yeah, so they're going to do a very good job in the championship.
They did. They did a great race today. They dominated it from start to end.
Yeah.
Starting in P2 though, but they already got the Porsche 117 right before the first corner. So yeah, good job for them so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even with a potential penalty that might be still somewhere in the air, 15 seconds, they still win the race, I guess. So
yeah, I would not be surprised if that. But as you said, they do have to report it. That's up to them if they want to report it. But yeah,
exactly.
I probably would in this case. I mean, I said something earlier about volunteers having to look through the incident, but yeah, I want to stress that if you feel you need to have something looked at, then yeah, you should definitely just report that incident and don't hold back on account of what I say. So.
And the final 2 corners.
Yeah.
Oh,
bit of traffic, but
yeah, and they did a great race today. It is really good pace, 34.7, the quickest lap time. So win in the fastest lap. So it's a great race for them today for Rich Motorsport and Pellegrino.
Absolutely.
Celebrating this win.
Yep. Over to March in the 807 car, currently in second place in the championship, and yeah, they're definitely going to be overtaken by the 217 car in the championship. Still a very good result here, of course. And speaking of good results, we see Menno coming over the finish line with Yannick following him. So the 1-1, the 111 and the 112 car. So they did a very good job, and we have Fabio Bini.
Damage control, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I expected a bit more, but yeah, it turns out that the Porsche might just not be the best car for this track. So
I mean, we can be honest, right? It's not a good race from them. If you start from P1 and you end up in P5, that's not a good result at all.
no.
So didn't expect that. Not sure what happened with them, but well, how like they dominated last race. It's strange to see them well, I would say falling down the standings a bit. Today. Yeah, I mean the DC guys also did great, right? I mean from 5 to 3 to third, from P9 to P4, so they did a great job as well.
Yeah, but it is interesting. At the beginning of the race, yeah, I was sort of talking like 117 had already won, but in terms of what the championship, I mean they're fifth now with a gap of 11 points, and I was sort of having in my mind that yeah, they were gonna jump to the second place maybe, or even the first, but yeah, so they came in fifth, and they're probably gonna stay on the position.
Errol didn't make it into P7, just barely made it. No, almost made it, I have to say. So 2/10 between Nicky and Errol. It was a close call.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happens with Justine, by the way, because it shows like a 130 seconds penalty, but might be differently judged after the race for not swapping drivers.
I think so, and probably he will be disqualified, and he knows it probably. So
yeah, he counted on it probably already.
Yeah, exactly. So
great race, nice.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, it was fun doing commentary with you again. So
fun again, indeed.
Hope you can join again for the next race. And
yeah, hope so. I mean, if I've got time, I'm more than happy to join you in the next one as well. But let's first see if there's some time in my calendar to join you.
Yeah, that's always important to have a bit of time for that as well. So yeah, just wanted to say like and subscribe and all that noise, and that's it for tonight. So thank you
Cool.
for watching, and see you later.
Great evening all.